So just a little recap of what we've been doing and what the crew have been up to. We're here at SailGP, a tremendously exciting event here in Halifax. High-powered, very, very fast foiling catamarans. And I, being aboard a 1920 schooner, it's really hard not to look back at Alexander Graham Bell and the work that he was doing in the 20s and 30s on hydrofoils in Quebec. So he was doing 50 knots, like a speed record, world speed record in hydrofoils in the 1920s and 30s. So it's fun to think of, to be aboard here and to think, what would Captain Angus Walters think? Well, we know he had those conversations. He must have read the newspapers and known that, his boat was doing 16 or 17 knots and Alexander Graham Bell was doing 50. Just incredible. So obviously the technology has changed, and we've gone from, this boat being the fast boat of its time and into the F-50s here in the bay. And we've been out and watching the races on the course, and you see a 50-foot catamaran completely launched out of the water. The forces are just incredible. So fantastic for our young crew. This is their first event. This is, we docked here the other day with a full VIP charter on board, and it was our 5th docking of the year in the strong crosswind. So it's been challenging for the crew to learn the ship handling and to learn the line handling that needs to be done in these challenging windy conditions. Our trip up from Lunenburg was quite interesting. We'd had a bit of a system move through the day before with winds forecast up gusting to 50 knots. I had 3 different forecasts or models looking at that, saying that was going to be the wind speeds. And although we didn't receive that, there was still quite a swell left over. So we had a sort of a 2-meter swell on the beam, and when I say 2 meters, that means occasionally there's a 3-meter or more wave coming through. So we certainly saw 10-foot or better waves at times out there. And so we motored along under foresail and jumbo, and no one was sick. It was good. The crew did really well. First time at sea, and came around Chebucto Head in the traffic lanes and started to motor inbound. And all of a sudden the wind was at 25 knots and blowing hard. And, so yeah, challenging for new young helmsmen, and challenging for us to be in the traffic lanes and to try and keep a straight course going, and lots of fun. So although we're quite early in our season, we're going to look forward a little bit. So the racing will be finished here today in Halifax, and tomorrow morning we'll pick up and we'll head back down to Lunenburg, and we're going to finish up a few of the things that need to be done for the ship on Tuesday. And then we've been doing some training with the crew. We haven't finished all our sail training yet, so we'll do some sail training with the crew. We have a chance to take out some students from the Bluenose Academy in Lunenburg, which is a really special thing for us to do, is to be able to show the younger generation what the ship is about and what their particular heritage is about. And then we'll move into our harbor tour season. So you can come out in historic Lunenburg Harbor and have a sail with us, put the sails up, turn off the engines, and actually go sailing. Company store will be open, so you can find some Bluenose memorabilia, and the museum is open too in Lunenburg. So if you want to dive deeper into Bluenose history or the history of the fishery in general, you can go right from the Birch Park seagoing canoe up until modern vessels and modern safety requirements on vessels. The museum, the Fisheries Museum, sort of spans that whole aspect of life at sea. So come down to Lunenburg and see us.